coaching, transforming people's lives, igniting passion, creativity, joy in people who want a different life, just don't know how to get there. I would like to be that facilitator to help them transition into that.
And so you want to teach that, but you were not doing that. You were feeling bored. So don't you think that part of the thing that was unfolding was to show you what to do when you are not feeling the passion? Because words don't teach. So when you find yourself feeling bored, that's the opposite of what you want to feel, and it's certainly the opposite of what you want to teach. So what might you do to get yourself flowing with the energy again?
Not watch The Bachelor.
Well, we were mostly having fun with that, but everything does have a vibrational frequency, and you can tell by the way you're feeling. We're not asking you to get in that hyped up place and stay there forevermore. That's not even logical, but it is logical to be in that high flying place and have your emotions go from passion to interest to satisfaction to exhilaration to love and appreciation. In other words, all of that seeming range of emotion, it's all in the same vibrational range, but it has different ways that it moves through your physical body, you see. And so your goal is to just feel as good as you can feel as often as you can feel good, and then let the inspiration come. Don't try to force the thought that causes the emotion. Instead, when you find the emotion that feels good, ride the emotion and practice it so that it becomes a more consistent part of your momentum. We've been saying to you, you create your own reality. And then we said to you, let's talk about the science of deliberate creation. And then you got too involved in your thoughts. And so then we said, let's call it the art of allowing. We said step 1 is done, step 2 is done, let's focus on step 3. And that's still really what we want to say to you. Focus on step 3. So from your understanding of what the receptive mode is, or practicing the art of allowing, what kinds of things would promote your alignment?
Dancing, listening to Abraham, meditating, painting.
And when you are participating in any of those things, do you find your vibration rising?
Yes.
And so if you understand that that is your singular intention for your vibration to rise, then doesn't it make a lot of things that you tend to do sort of off track? We're not just talking about you, we're talking about everyone. Most conversations are in a receptive mode that's more from a vulnerable place, or from a guarded place, or from an angry place. But when you're in the receptive mode that is from that tuned in, tapped in, turned on place, you can feel it right away, can't you? We wrote a book. In fact, it's the first book that was really recognized globally. And it's called Ask and It Is Given, because it was the emphasis on how these 3 steps really happen. And in this book, there are many processes that help you in the raising of your vibration. But today we're saying to you, you already understand all of that. You know how to raise your vibration. We just want to imbue you with the understanding that that's all that matters. It's all that matters. It's just raising vibration. So you just want to pull out the stops and just do it in whatever way you can, because there's no right way and there's no wrong way. Just pull out the stops and do it in whatever way you can, and then follow the impulse. That's all.
I guess I always thought happiness was like a doing. You have to do something to be happy, but it's,
well,
what is
here's
happiness?
What it is. Happiness happens unless you're doing something that keeps it from happening. It's like the cork that bobs on the surface of the water. That's that alignment. You can hold it under the water as you focus on politics, or as you focus upon competition, or as you focus upon someone who is behaving in a way that you don't prefer and you can't control them. There are so many things that cause you to take hold of that cork and hold it under the water. But in the moment that you get distracted from it and you let go of it, it will bob right back up there. So your happiness will too, unless you're doing that thing. So when you say, I was excited and then I got bored, we wanted to say your cork was floating and then you got hold of it and you held it under the water as you focused upon something that didn't allow it to float. It's always that way. It's always that way. And we know it feels so justified, because what we're talking about is in the vortex where you can't see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. But there's someone in your face that you can see and hear and maybe smell and taste and touch. There is someone that you are witnessing that is doing something that is causing a reaction from you, and that gets your attention because you are so used to the world of translating through your physical senses. And we get that. We just want you to lean more into the emotional translation and not let what is get quite so much of your attention. Because if what is getting most of your attention, and for most people it is, then what is what's setting your vibration. And it might be setting your vibration in this receptive mode of vulnerability, or in this receptive mode of anger, or what you're witnessing might be setting your tone in this receptive mode of overwhelming, or it might be setting it in this receptive mode of hoping, or it might be setting it in this receptive mode of joy and love, in other words. But if you are counting on what you're observing, then it's sort of up for grabs, isn't it? Because what you're observing could be all over the place. You've got to decide that you want to feel good, and in that decision you will automatically lean toward more things that do feel good. And as you lean toward more things that do feel good, the momentum of feeling good will bring more things that do feel good. How do thoughts turn to things? This is the question that we want you to ponder. How is it that what's in your life is there? How did you set the tone that is matching you up with the things that you're matching up to? Because it didn't just happen. You emanated a vibration that brought it about. Now, we'll go along with you that you didn't see it coming, maybe sometimes, the things you don't want. And we'll even go along with you that you don't deserve it, in that it's not really who you really are. But nothing comes to you that you are not a vibrational match to. So if things are coming that you don't like, you have to first accept you're a vibrational match to them. And then you have to do something about what you're matching, which means you've got to stop observing what it is that's coming, because it just keeps it coming. So by being a selective sifter, we're in some ways setting you up for a little bit of failure also, because now we're saying observe conditions and look for the good ones. But when we say observe conditions and look for the good ones, you're mostly just observing conditions, and sometimes you find good ones and sometimes you find bad ones, but you're training yourself to respond or react to the conditions. Are you with us? Where if you've decided that you're going to be an unconditional aligner, an unconditional lover, then what you say to the whole world for just a little while is, you are what you are, but I'm going to do my best to ignore you. I'm going to take my attention from the existing conditions, which isn't easy. And most people would tell you you're crazy to even try. You can't take your attention from something. You have to give your attention to something else. So you have to decide, I'm going to give my attention to things that really feel good. And for a while, just for a while, serve yourself obnoxiously and abnormally, and to the chagrin of everyone around you. Do the things that cause you to feel best. Take those walks that you've not been taking because you've been sacrificing yourself and doing the laundry instead. Go to the things that feel good to you. Do the things that feel the best to you, just for a little while. Give yourself a chance to let your cork float. Because once it floats, all the good ideas will start flowing, and the universe will start cooperating with all the things that you want. But you got to find some way. Maybe just going cold turkey is the answer. We could just all run away together just for a little while and just do fun things. And maybe this 3 hours that we're together will be enough for that. In other words, focus in a way that allows your vibration to raise. But you have to find some way of breaking the cycle of. And we so appreciated this conversation because you're demonstrating what almost everyone is living. You think you're doing this, but then it feels like this. And we want you to just acknowledge that however it feels is how it is. And how it is how it's going to keep being. So you've got to find some way of changing the feeling. And the way to change the feeling is to acknowledge that. Do you know that when you sleep at night, your momentum stops? So when you wake up in the morning, you have the best opportunity to get into a different vibrational place. And that if you will just wake up, and as soon as you wake up, begin looking for things or acknowledging things or thinking thoughts that do feel good, you have a better chance of getting further into the day about that, you see? We want you to not work so hard at trying to orchestrate this, and instead take the conversation of art of allowing to its true meaning and allow yourself, allow your cork to float. That's what we would like you to leave this gathering determined to do. And when somebody says to you, why didn't you do such and such? Say to them, because I'm allowing my cork to float. And they'll say, what's that got to do with you not getting such and such done? And you say, has everything to do with that. I'm allowing my cork to float. I'm just giving myself a little opportunity to allow my cork to float. And maybe you want to do like we're encouraging Esther to do. Understand, don't try to explain. You understand it. You understand it. What are you doing? I'm allowing my cork to float. What does that mean? That means I'm taking a walk. It means I'm taking a bath. It means I'm doing anything and everything that I can think of doing that makes my heart sing just a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. And before you know it, you'll be on the other side of this, where people will be watching you and they will be amazed at how cooperative the universe is with you. And they will say, what's with you? Why does everything always work out for you? And you'll just smile. Don't say it. Just smile. Because I allowed my cork to float. Well, how come you get all the good jobs? Because I allow my cork to float. How come everybody loves you? Because I allow my cork to float. How come you have so much money? Because I allow my cork to float. How come everything always works out for you? Because I allow my cork to float. Don't say it out loud to them. Just understand it. Just understand it.